Hey, you're listening to Home Buying Uncensored, and I'm Brian Dent.
And I'm Mona Wong. This is the show for you. I mean, only if you want to know the truth about home buying. Can you handle the truth? This is where we talk about real life horror stories so you can save yourself. And I promise you'll laugh and remember these stories. 'Tis the season, Brian.
What season is that?
Refinancing season.
Woohoo!
You sounded really enthusiastic about that.
Woohoo!
I mean, is there really a refinancing season though?
No, I mean, there's different reasons to refinance, but the season, unless rates are dropping, interest rates are dropping, no, there's really not a season.
Right? It's not like a certain time of the
It's
year.
depending on your circumstances, too.
Right. I know me, myself, and and my husband, we've refinanced maybe like five shy of a billion times. And we did it in different parts of our lives
Mm-hmm.
for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And some may say, you're so stupid, which there's a difference between why you refinance on paper versus like real life.
Correct.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's circumstances are different. I mean, it depends on what stage of your life you're at.
Yeah, and I think that's really important because I get a lot of young clients who are like, "Oh no, no," because my uncle said, my uncle's 80 and he's lived through his life, and he told me I should never use my house as a piggy bank. Have you heard that one before?
Absolutely.
But in reality is if your uncle has never, let's say that your uncle's never had kids,
Right.
never had to pay for soccer, never had to pay for makeup, never had to pay for sneakers, like
Well, how about college?
or college.
When Uncle's kids went to college, it was like $500 a year.
Yeah, that's
Now
true.
it's like 500 grand, depending on where they go to school.
Or
100
like a
grand,
kidney.
a kidney.
Yeah. That's one thing. Like I think I need to start figuring out a way how to
Sell body
throw
parts on just the torso.
or no, like or to grow extra organs. I think there's a market for that.
Depending on what organ.
But that's a different podcast all in itself. So let's go back to refinancing. I know for me, myself, and my husband, when our kids were younger, we found ourselves in a situation. I just started off in this business. I wasn't making a lot of money. We ended up in a lot of debt, and rates were still high at that point. And I had a ton of equity in my house
Hmm.
because we were always told to not owe money. So we threw all this money into the house when we bought it and ended up with a lot of equity. But yet we were like cash poor. So what are we going to do? We were running ourselves into credit card debt. And so I did a cash out refinance and paid off on my debt. And let me tell you, I slept like a baby, sort of.
The only issue with doing that, Mona, is if you don't cut up the cards and keep one of them, and
Exactly.
then you run them back up, then that's just, you might as well not do
Right.
it. But
So I did that too.
yeah,
I literally, when I tell you I have lived through this nightmare, I have lived through this nightmare. So I did that, didn't cut up the cards. So then I had no debt. And I was like, oh, let's go buy a new handbag. And so, like shit happens. And I get that. You go out for a nice steak dinner and you didn't mean to, but what's a couple $100 more? And
well,
it adds up.
yeah, and it adds up. But it's not even sometimes that. It's not even foolish stuff. It's like, kids are expensive.
Diapers.
You alluded to that in a previous episode.
Yeah.
Kids are expensive to pay for club soccer or club softball or cheerleading or baseball. I mean, it gets expensive, and you got two parents that are out working. And the economy that your uncle went through at 80 years old is very different than the economy today.
Oh,
You know,
100%. There was no club ball then
no,
either.
I mean, it was little
Like
league and go home.
softball bats are like $500 a piece. And
That's
then
ridiculous.
you're paying club fees. Oh, and by the way, you have to bring your kids to these tournaments that are out of state, which means you can't work.
Correct.
So it's like, I mean, children in their sports are for the birds.
Yeah.
It sucks, but it's so much fun. I do it again. Again, we digress. But yeah, life happens and kids are expensive. And so I found myself refinancing yet again
Yeah.
to clear out the debt. And so I did it twice and I never did it again, thank God.
Yeah.
I learned my
I actually
lesson.
did it twice too.
Yeah. That's also the same thing with home equity lines. I feel like it's a great tool to have, but you can easily find yourself in trouble because with home equity lines, unless you're making that extra conscious effort of paying down your principal, you're not going to pay down that balance. And then you're going to find yourself in a situation where you have to consolidate it. So you're refinancing.
Yeah. So
It's a slippery
and
slope.
you gotta look at both options too. It's like FHA versus conventional. Yeah, a good loan officer will look at both options and advise you properly. Because sometimes it's just about cash flow. I'm lowering my rate because I want better cash flow every month.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's to consolidate debt.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's to pay college. Sometimes it's just to put a pool in or do renovations to your home.
Yeah.
You know,
And
I,
now with this big, beautiful bill, parents are not, they're restricted as to how much they can take out in parent loans
right.
for their kids for colleges, which means you got to go private loans. And a lot of people are going to be looking at home equity lines again. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just,
Yeah, I mean, they just made it more
it's
expensive for,
a lot. I just don't think with refinancing, you can't just look at it as, oh, I need a lower interest rate. Because I've been in the situation where the rates were higher and I had to go into a higher rate, but it meant I could consolidate on my debt. And so my total cash flow increased because I didn't have credit card payments.
correct. And credit card payments, minimum payments on a credit card, that's a 40-year loan.
Oh, it's so ridiculous.
So if you're just making minimum payments,
You're screwing yourself.
yeah, you just turning a credit card into a 40-year loan.
Even when you have like, say like a ten or $15,000 balance, which I think is sort of like the norm,
Hmm.
and you're making these, $1,000 payments, but you're still not paying enough down to even put a dent in that credit card.
No, no.
And $1,000 a month is a lot of money.
Yeah. And stuff happens where the credit cards might not be run up because of handbags or club sports. It could be somebody got sick and they need to pay a
Yeah,
doctor's bill.
yeah. Or
Um, you know,
prescriptions.
or the heating system went in the house along with the roof needed to be done.
Right.
I can remember my house in Florida. Within 1 week, my oven and stove went, my refrigerator went, my
Jesus.
hot water heater went,
Oh
and my
my God.
AC. It was like a $15,000 week. And then I had to put a roof on it a year later. But I had to, suck it up. I'm
Yeah.
lucky I have VA benefits. So at that time, we were putting in a pool, so we had the money to do it. So, but
And that's
still,
why it's having a home equity line is also really useful,
yeah,
is for emergencies like that,
yeah,
right? Because again, life happens
correct.
and you have to like prepare for life happens. Like,
Yeah,
don't feel, you can't feel like you're being judged.
yeah.
You can't feel like, oh, I'm such a loser, because life happens and people refinance for so many different reasons. Some people do refinances to take cash out so they can reinvest it somewhere else. That's a positive.
Well, when rates are at 3% and you were making 10, 12% on your investments, I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
that was kind of a no-brainer. Or even like you take money out so you have a down payment to buy an investment property.
yeah.
So that's also a positive too. So there's just so many reasons why people refinance. And with rates, knock on wood, finally coming down, it's a good time for people to reassess their lives and see where they're at, and see what a refinance could do for you and how it can help you. You got to look at it as a tool.
I know, and I wish we could speak to more people because out there's like $1 trillion worth of credit card debt right now.
Yeah.
And, a lot of these people that own homes should be refinancing because, like we said earlier, you're turning that credit card into a 40-year loan.
Yeah.
It's something that should be considered. And if cash flow is tight and you own a home with equity in it, you should be calling a loan officer to have them run the numbers for you and
Yep.
make them run the numbers. Just don't get a rate and get a payment. You want to see how long it's going to take to get the closing costs back. If there's any points involved. There's different things. It's just not oh, it's time to refinance, let me apply. No, a good loan officer will run numbers, tell you what the savings is. We'll do a cash flow analysis for you in order to make that happen. So
You sound really smart, Brian.
I am
Okay, I believe that. I mean, I guess you are kind of smart. I mean, you've been in the business for like ever.
41 years,
Yeah.
41 kabillion
And
years.
I'm only 40. So, refinancing options, why one would refinance, you should not feel judged. So, if you have equity, you should probably give us a call and let's see what we can do and discuss what your options would look like. I want to hear what you did with your equity. Like, what's it doing for you now if you're not doing anything with it?
Yeah,
It's kind of just sitting there.
sounds good.
See you on the flip side. We love talking about real estate, we love talking about mortgages, and we love talking about real life. If there's anything that you haven't heard yet, or if you have any question about something you've heard, drop us a note. Hello at homebuyinguncensored.com. Talk to you soon.